Hello and welcome to Firearm Freedom. This is going to be another First Impressions video. In today's First Impressions video, we are taking a look at my Mossberg 590 SBS. And before we get this video started, I wanted to give a quick shout out to this video's sponsor, which is Seal One. Seal One makes a wide variety of firearms maintenance supplies. Primarily, they make a CLP that's bio-based and also non-toxic. Smells great, actually cleans the guns really well too, and I've actually been using this stuff for years, long before this sponsorship, and I seriously, from the most genuine part of me, cannot thank Seal One enough for supporting a smaller channel like mine. They make a wide variety of stuff from Sub-Zero CLP up to bow care products and pretty much everything in between, with pre-saturated circular bore patches and liquid CLP, aerosol CLP, and a paste. And they're also providing you guys, my viewers, with a substantial discount code. This stuff is already cheap to begin with, but if you use the code FF-25 at checkout, that's FF-25 at checkout, it gives you 25% off of your total order. So stock up on some firearms maintenance supplies and thank them for supporting the channel. So this is not necessarily a first impressions video. I have actually had this shotgun out on quite a few outings at this point. It has been featured kind of behind the scenes in a few different shotgun videos on my channel, but more recently my Form 4 finally got approved on this shotgun. Yes, I did say Form 4. So for anybody out there that is curious, this was not a Mossberg Shockwave that was Form 1'd into an SBS. This was a factory Mossberg SBS that was originally a police shotgun that I got on quite the deal about a year ago now, maybe actually more than that. And it took me a minute to submit the Form 4 on it. Of course, I work at the gun shop that I submit my Form 4s at, so it really wasn't a big deal that it took a little bit of extra time. But I was able to get this to the range a few times on little demo visits and other things, working with other folks from my gun shop. So this has been to the range a lot. And as you can see, being a police surplus shotgun, this thing has been there and done that as far as being carried over the past few decades. A lot of wear on the outside, but really no big deal. There's no rusting or corroding or anything like that, just good, honest wear. So I don't have any plans on Cerakoting this gun. I'm just going to leave it exactly how it is. I originally got this thing for just a ridiculous deal. It was $250, and of course, even with the tax stamp at that point, it was well worth that deal. So I couldn't pass it up, and I did like the idea at first of a small, short 14-inch pump shotgun, and of course it's a tried and true 590. Now typically with police shotguns, you have a gun that really was not shot all that frequently, but carried a lot. So internal parts are generally still good, but what you can see a lot of the time is just improper maintenance and care. They were generally not maintained all that well. And in this case, this shotgun originally came with an orange less than lethal 590 stock in the back. So I don't know if that was just thrown on after the fact when it left whatever department it came from, or if it actually was a less than lethal shotgun. It did not come with the less than lethal forend. It came with just standard 590 forend. So again, not really sure on the story there, but a lot of the time pump shotguns like this in departments are used as less than lethal rather than lethal options loaded with bean bags and other things like that. They're also primarily used as breaching shotguns as well because of how short they are. I say this isn't really a first impressions video anymore because I've also done upgrades to the gun as it sits. Now those upgrades are a Mossberg SGA stock, which I think is just a phenomenal shotgun stock if you're looking for something that just works well. Of course, it doesn't have as much of a vibe to it, you know. It's just a tried and true stock, and I like it. So I went with the Mossberg SGA. I do have 2 spacers in it now, and we're going to be talking about that in a second, but there are 2 full spacers that come with the SGA stock that are currently in this. And then I'm also rocking the Streamlight TL racker for this shotgun. Now, this is not the standard racker. It should be noted that if you want to go with the TL racker from Streamlight for something like a Mossberg Shockwave or a Mossberg 590 SBS like this, they do have shorter than usual pumps here in the front. And it also comes with the strap. Now, if you're not familiar with shooting a lot of shorty pump shotguns, it is quite the concern that you're going to rack a little bit too hard and your hand is going to fly in front of the barrel and have a very, very bad day. So most of the time on any 14-inch pump gun, you're going to see some sort of strap to hold your hand into place due to safety concerns. Now, this is 100% removable if you wanted to remove it, and with this you just unscrew that little section there and the section there, and it's just going to come right off. Next up, I have a Mesa Tactical 6-shell side saddle. This thing is great. You guys know I love these. They're tried and true. They work well. It is not as quick to reload these side saddles, but to just fight with what is on the gun, it's going to hold the rounds in place, and it is one of the most durable long-term options that I've used to date for the price. There are definitely more practical options out there now with quick reloads and still being polymer, but they are very, very expensive. This comes in at like 38 bucks, and it's super reasonable, gets the job done, and holds tight. The only thing I will say is I haven't used this as much, and generally when you first break these out of the box, the rubber tubing in here that's holding your shotgun shells in place is very, very tight, as this one is, so it is a little bit tough to pull the rounds out at first. It is going to loosen over time, and I'm just going to keep this loaded with shotgun shells to, again, just help ease that and break it in a little bit. Now, the last upgrade that I made to it was a GG&G side sling mount up here in the front. These 590 SBSs do come with the factory +1 on the magazine tube, but they do not give you any way to mount a sling. There's no swivel end or anything like that, so the GG&G adapter is phenomenal. They did not send me this adapter. I bought it, and it is super cheap, super affordable, and allows you a way to mount a sling. You can either loop the sling through, or you could use a clip to clip it to the side of this as well. Few different options here. You guys see that I am not running a sling on this 590 anymore. I did run a sling in a few of the B-roll shots that you guys are going to be seeing, but to be honest with you, the more that I run shotguns, the more that I'm really not a huge fan of running a sling on them. That's just me. I don't know. I really just feel like it gets in the way for almost everything with the shotgun, and I think if I did put a shotgun into a roll that I wanted it to have a sling, more of a long-term go-to-war option, if you will, I would probably affix the sling with some rubber bands or something like that in a way that it is not going to be in the way, because if it's just dangling around or even around your person and you go to do reloads, again, it gets very, very difficult to do that. How did the Mossberg 590 shoot? A lot of people are going to be salty about this in the comment section, but I am going to be honest, and I'm always honest here on the channel. I really don't like this gun, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's not broken. It's not unreliable. It works great. I just don't really like it that much. There's no other way to say it. It's painful. It's painful to shoot. And, you know, it's something about having that 14-inch barrel and a short length of pull and a short, light package in 12 gauge that makes it not the most enjoyable. Now, I will say, I posted a photo on Reddit and a few other pages saying, hey, this shotgun's awesome, but it recoils more than any shotgun that I currently own. And everyone had to go ahead and assert their manliness in the comment section and why I am doing it wrong and you are doing it right. But what a lot of people didn't realize about that post is that I had 0 spacers in this SGA stock. My original intent with this shotgun was to keep it as short as humanly possible. I had like a child soldier length of pole here in the rear of the shotgun, so it caused me to get real hunched up on that gun. And literally, I mean, to no exaggeration, just standard birdshot loads felt like 3-inch Magnum slugs. That was the reality with that length of pole. And at that point, I just hated everything about this shotgun because, again, it just really sucked to use. In fact, I would almost rather prefer the Shockwave Bird's Head grip or like on my TAC 14 because it's actually more repeatable for me to shoot than with the stock on it, and that just kind of seemed like how it was going to be with the 14-inch barrel. So I decided to give it another go with 2 additional spacers, so I now have the proper length of pole, and the recoil was much better. I should also note that for me, in my personal situation, I had a previous injury from the gym with my pec and a small minor tear over a year ago, but it still gives me problems when I'm shooting high recoiling guns like any sort of a 12-gauge pump gun. So for me, I'm going to be a little bit jaded and biased towards any sort of a heavier recoil that's not a standard 5.56 gun or something like that. I'm just going to feel it more in that side of my chest, and there's just not really much I can do about it, even with proper form and technique when shooting the shotgun. Although the recoil was better, it still just beats the crap out of you in this configuration. And look, I have full-size 590s and 500s. I absolutely love them. They're incredible shotguns, and I don't have any of these issues. I just feel that on this short overall platform, you're really not gaining all that much. So much so that I would probably recommend just sticking with an 18-inch or a 20-inch shotgun and just going with that. I do think that yes, it's shorter, yes, it's easier to maneuver inside a home, but again, the training just goes up even more. Shotguns are already difficult and already frustrating to use at the range under stress. It already takes a lot of training. So then to add another aspect to that of a shotgun where you have to do all of those things, but now it's just beating the crap out of you every single time you're shooting it. And again, I don't know if that's a huge benefit. Now, I will say the factory 590 ghost ring sights on this are absolutely phenomenal, and Mossberg did an incredible job. It is so easy to pick up fast target acquisition at the range. It's excellent. And with the Streamlight, it gets the job done really well, although you are frequently NDing this freaking light. I might have to do a full review on these TL rackers because the more that I use them, the more that I think they do have some downfalls, but really all flashlights on shotguns kind of have some downfalls. But the other thing that made me a little bit more jaded towards this 590 SBS is that during this review, I was also shooting and using and reviewing my Remington 1187 SBS, and that thing is just like the king of SBSs. I absolutely love everything about it. I could not make that shotgun better if I tried. So again, it's going to make me a little bit more jaded because recoil in that is next to nothing because of the action. And I do think a shotgun like that has a true benefit being shorter because now it's shorter and it's still freaking easier to control than a full-size pump 12-gauge shotgun. I did have some issues with the action. It's just gunked up and it is freaking tired. This thing has been racked probably more times than I could ever imagine, and I was having some rounds just get hung up on feeding in the action. And again, I don't think that was me, and I really don't think that was the shotgun. I think it was just simply dirty, old, tired. There's parts that are just a little bit worn out, and I'm going to give it a full detailed field strip and cleaning. This thing's been going with just a light cleaning that I gave it before I ended up bringing it to the range for the first time, and I've shot it a good bit since then. So those malfunctions are getting a little worse, which prompts me to believe that, again, it's just a little bit dirty and gunked up. So I'm going to clean that out, and it's probably going to be a little bit better after that. Of course, standard Mossberg manual of arms here, great safety, easy to get to, easy reloading with the large port on the bottom, and I don't, again, have any issues with how the shotgun works. It works fine. I am just being a little baby about it, the way that it actually feels when I'm shooting it. But you know what? It's not just me. We had the FF Pocket Gunsmith test it a few times as well, and I just kind of asked him his unbiased opinion about the shotgun, and it was kind of like, meh. you know, it doesn't feel great. It's not that fun to shoot. It really is beating the crap out of you with light loads, and, you know, it is what it is. It's just kind of one of those guns where I'm never going to sell it. I got it at a great price. I'm still happy I had it. I'm still going to leave it loaded somewhere just because, but it's definitely not a shotgun that I want to bring out to the range a ton, if that makes any sense. That is going to wrap up this full review slash first impressions video of the Mossberg 590 SBS. If you guys have any other questions about this shotgun or anything else on the channel, please throw them down below in the comment section, and I absolutely will get back to you. While you're down there, head up to the description, check out those links to support the channel, and as always, stay tuned for more great videos coming soon.